Shri Guru Charitra, Chapter 51 The Mahaprasthan Preliminary. In this chapter, the Mahaprasthan of Gurunath is described. Gurunath has decided to withdraw his physical form. He sets out from Gangapur, leaving his padukas there after enshrining his presence and power in them. He leaves for the holy Sri Shaila Parvat with 4 of his disciples. From there, he sets out on the flower float on the waters of Patal Ganga to his eternal abode. He sends back a cluster of flowers as a token of his message and blessings to his disciples, which come floating against the current. The final message of Gurunath to humanity is embodied in a nutshell in this chapter. He assures that through mere remembrance of him, one can earn his grace. He also tells about the great merit which the Guru Charitra Parayan confers. Mad bhakta yatra gayanti tatra tisthami narada. O Narad, my true abode is where people sing my name with devotion. As we have seen in the previous chapter, Siddha Muni told Namdharak about the visit of Gurunath to Vaiduri Nagar at the pleading of the Nawab. Siddha Yogi continues the narrative. Gurunath was accorded a most regal welcome by the Nawab and was received with overwhelming devotion by all the sections of the people of the city. Following the visit, Gurunath's name and fame spread far and wide, and many Muslim people also started pouring into Gangapur for Gurunath's darshan and for redress of their difficulties. With the constant influx, the serene atmosphere of Gangapur was getting disturbed. Gurunath had already been hinting to his devotees for some time that he would be leaving for the Kadali banana grove at Sri Shaila Parvat before long. One day he called all his devotees and the people of Gangapur to the mutt. He announced that he was bidding goodbye to Gangapur and was setting out on his pilgrimage to Sri Shailam. All started sobbing. What would be Gangapur without Gurunath? Gurunath was its sole life and light. Seeing how grief-stricken all were, Gurunath announced that although they would not be able to see his physical form at Gangapur, yet he would be abiding there forever, in his invisible form, in his grace body. He would continue to answer all prayers and would continue to shower his grace on all the supplicants. He further said that wherever he be, he would continue to visit the Sangam in the mornings every day for his bath, and by midday he would be visiting the mutt unfailingly, though he would not be visible to the human eyes. He assured them that he would be in his Nirgun Padukas in the mutt and that they would be the reservoir and repository of all spiritual power, and that worship offered to them would be reaching him only. He further said that worship offered to the Ashwatha tree was worship unto the Kalpa Vriksha. The Ashwatha tree would fulfill all the desires of the supplicants. Comforting and assuring the people thus, he set out from Gangapur. He asked his disciples, except 4 of them, to go out on a pilgrimage and assured them that he would be ever with them. All the people of Gangapur were following him. Gurunath told them that they should return to their homes. He again assured them that his presence would continue to be felt at the mutt by all devotees, by the mere remembrance or recall of his name. The people had to retrace their steps with a heavy heart homewards. They were feeling that their life breath had ebbed out of them. The void caused in their life by Gurunath's leaving from Gangapur could never be filled up and would remain so forever. Their hearts sank down in despair and gloom. At the mutt, they all stopped, their feet refusing to move from there. Why not we all end our lives here? That was their thought at that moment. Lo, there was a flash of light in the mutt. Gurunath revealed himself before their eyes, smiling and holding out his Abhay Hast, that is the raised palm indicating assurance and benediction. The people were enlivened. Their gloom had melted away, and their faith enriched in the omnipresence of Gurunath, they slowly returned to their homes. Gurunath, along with his 4 chosen disciples, reached the Kadali on the banks of Patal Ganga at the foot of Sri Shail Parvat. Thereafter, Gurunath asked the disciples to prepare a float with banana trunks and leaves. The float was prepared. It was bedecked with flowers. Gurunath asked them to place the float in the river. He stepped into the float and seated himself on it. The disciples offered obeisance and worship to him, while their hearts were bursting out of grief at the impending separation from their beloved Lord. Guru Nath cheered them up and told them, "My dear children, I am fully aware of the anguish of your hearts at the thought that I am leaving you. But I assure you again, I shall be with you forever and especially at Gangapur. I will be showering my full grace there on all supplicants who are sincere, earnest, and faithful. Only to make myself inaccessible to agnostics, atheists, and the faithless, I am taking to this prasthan. But even so, every day I will be present at the Amaraja Sangam for my morning bath and will be visiting the Gangapur Mutt for receiving the bhiksha. Be sure about this and do not give place to any doubt. I will never be leaving Gangapur. I will be accepting all worship that will be offered at the mutt. Convey the following advice of mine, which I am giving to you now, to all. All pilgrims to Gangapur should first take their dip in the holy waters of Bhima Amaraja Sangam. If they bathe in all the Ashtatirthas, the merit will be even far more and will be several fold. The Ashwatha tree which is near the Sangam is as holy as the Kalpavruksha itself. They should make pradakshina around the Ashwatha tree. They should offer worship to the Nirgund Padukas at the mutt. All 3 times of the day, they should do aarti to the Padukas. Whoever offers worship to the Chintamani Ganpati deity there will earn fulfillment of all his desires. Believe me, I will be residing in the house of every devotee, ever serving them and showering all grace on them. I will be like the Kamdhenu in the front yard of their house, like the Kalpavruksha in the backyard of the house, and like Lakshmi, Saraswati and Parvati residing inside the house. With mere remembrance of me, I will respond to everyone. Remember also how fond of music I am. Therefore, during the Devata Archana time, that is during the worship time, you should invariably also do bhajan. There is nothing like bhajan to bind me down in your homes and hearts. In whichever house my name is chanted, there is no scope of poverty or diseases to come anywhere near there. Poverty and disease all quickly take flight from there. The inmates of the house will be blessed with longevity. That house will be ever prosperous and aplenty. The house will be ever happy and joyous with healthy and playful children and will never be in want of anything. Further, let me also tell you about the supreme merit one will earn by listening to or by reading my Charitra, Guru Charitra. It will be the panacea for all ills. In the Kali Yuga, it will be like the Kalpalatika, the ever wish-fulfilling celestial creeper. It will be like Chintamani, the celestial diamond, bestower of all prosperity. Now I bid you adieu, you stay back. I will be sending the flowers as my prasad to you no sooner than I reach my destination. The prasad will confer on you immense good. Saying thus, he disappeared out of their sight. It was Bahudanya year, Uttarayan, Bahula Padayani, Friday. The nakshatra was Pushyami and was especially an auspicious time with Brihaspati entering the Kanya Rashi. Such was the time of the Mahaprasthan of Guru Nath. The devotees stayed on there only, unable to decide what to do, and so to say immobilized. Their minds were blank. At this juncture, a boat came towards them. The boatman told them they had a message for them from a Yatri sannyasi who gave his name as Sri Narsimha Saraswati. They said that they saw on the waters a yati, a golden splendid body holding a danda and a kamandal and wearing golden padukas. He was speeding fast on a flower chariot. He told them, the boatman, that they should give the message to his disciples. Tell them it is the ardent wish of their Guru, Sri Narsimha Saraswati, that they should soon get back to Gangapur and that he will be sending them Prasad Pushpa as a token of his blessings. No sooner did the boatman say thus than 4 big flowers of celestial beauty came there, floating against the current. The boatman picked up the flowers and gave the disciples 1 flower each. The 4 disciples were Sayamdev, Kavishwar Nandi, Narhari Kavi, and Siddha himself. Siddhamuni said to Namdharak, "As you have been born in the line of Sayamdev, you have won the merit of listening to this glorious Guru Charitra. In narrating this to you, I feel greatly blessed by Guru Nath and feel supremely happy." Thus ends the 51st chapter of Sri Guru Charitra. Glory to the all-merciful, the omnipresent and the ever-responsive Gurunath. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.